Amazing, right? Listen, thanks for coming back to the conversation. We're talking to classically trained musicians who've added a little soul to their strings. I'm here now with Lyrika Holmes. She's an internationally known contemporary harpist and vocalist. Her unique style of music captivated audiences all around the world. Literally, she's performed at more than 600 prestigious events, and her nonprofit exposes children to the harp. It is my honor to have Lyrika here join us now.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, and I understand this was old school parents who said, you're going to play this instrument. That's how this started for you, right?
Exactly
you were 10?
I was 10.
The harp, though.
I know. My parents, everyone played an instrument, and so they were like, we're going to put you in harp.
No conversation.
No conversation. They were just like, this is what you're going to do
Had
now.
you played any other instruments before?
I did. I started out on piano, and I played saxophone and flutophone and a couple of other things growing up. But they were like, now it's time for harp.
I understand that you were not pleased, but obviously things are working out. What was I guess as a 10-year-old, was it was so big?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it was big. I had to take it on the bus, but
You did not have to carry the harp on the bus.
I had to put it on the bus, and they always they always took the harp and put it in the back of the bus. So I blocked all of the seats so nobody could sit in the back. So when I was there, everybody had to move up front. So it didn't make me popular.
It did not make you popular, but look at you now.
That's right.
Let's talk about how the little girl who had to carry the harp on the bus, the optics there, I can't get over it, ends up on these international stages.
Yeah, I think it was mainly God, my parents, them having the belief system in me and kind of pushing me and being my support system is the reason why I am where I am today.
What was this like? Because I have to imagine you were always, in whatever setting, one of the only girls,
yes.
or black girls especially, right?
Yes.
What was that experience like for you? I guess you got used to stairs and the double takes?
Yes, I got used to it. I would say in high school, when we were first getting out and doing a lot of different performances, that was my first experience with people like, because they kind of figure out, they're always trying to figure out, can she really play? And so it's more of with a lot of the African American harpists. That's why we're such a tight knit group because we all experience the same.
So was the challenge from other musicians or fans, right? Because we hear the harp sometimes before we see who's playing it, right? It's one of those instruments you go, ooh, there's a harp. Who's playing it? Oh.
Yes.
So who was the more challenges come from, the musicians or fans?
So depending on the orchestra you were in, sometimes it was the orchestras, and then other times it was the listeners, the audience.
Have anyone ever say anything that gave you an opportunity to say, listen, this is something you can do too, young lady? Have you ever had girls come up to you and say, this is amazing, I want to do this?
Definitely, yeah. And the reason why we started the nonprofit is because of that. I've had so many young girls that come up to me and they're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to play this instrument, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's an instrument that's usually not in the school system.
Right.
And so I was only blessed to be a part of it because we had a magnet school program, and I went to Performing Arts High School also that had it.
And this is how you paid for college, right?
Yes.
But there was a bit of an obstacle, though, because it was still having to pay for the actual instrument.
That's
May I
right.
ask, for those who don't know, what's the range on a harp?
The range on a pedal harp runs from about anywhere from $12,000 to $150,000, and of course, upwards of more, depending on how you.
So how in the world, when they said to you, here's your scholarship, you just have to bring the harp, what did you do?
Well, I got one from my instructor that was teaching me when I was in St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis. And so when she found out, she was like, oh my gosh, take my harp up there and play. Because see, what happened is they gave me the scholarship. They said, oh, we have a harp and we have an instructor for you. And they said, you have to come. And then when I got there was no harp, there was no instructor.
Oh, no.
So they said, just sit in these orchestra classes and, take notes the entire time. So the entire semester I sat there and just took notes and listened to everybody else and went through, just looked at the music and was...
So where did you get to practice? How do you master your craft if you don't get to actually practice?
That was the problem. And so what happened was, I think it was towards the end of the semester, they were like, well, we decided in order for you to keep your scholarship, you're going to have to play. So you need to, by this weekend, get a harp, learn the music, and then come back and play it with us for our concert. So I went home to my instructor, and she taught me the music, I got it together and I went back and played it for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Wow. I feel like there's a real important lesson there just about resilience and figuring it out. Because who in the world has $50,000 to go get this girl a harp?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it wasn't me, because it took a minute before I was able to purchase my own. And
Right.
when you get it, it's just like a car payment. So.
Of course it is. So let's talk about how you took this instrument and ended up traveling the world.
Yeah. So when I first started off, I was doing classical. And then after classical, because I've always been a singer, in my family we have a lot of singers, and so I was like, okay, I want to do something different. And so after high school and college, I started putting the two together, and
Nice.
and I ran into a lot of different artists.
I feel like we don't see that often.
No, we
Harpists
don't.
sing. That really is really how you stand out, right?
Yes.
And so, what was the audience reaction when you? I mean, I guess if people are going to see you, they know what you're going to do. But for the
Yeah.
first timers who are like, "Wait a minute," and she sings.
Yeah, and that's the typical reaction that I get, because most times they expect me to play, and they also usually expect me to play Pachelbel or J.S. Bach, some other
Of course.
music, and so when they hear me doing jazz or doing CeeLo Green or hip hop or something else, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. this
What
is
made you decide to be so intentional about mixing it up and adding a little soul to your strings?
Because I don't like being put in a box. So I love all music, and so just being able to dibble and dabble around, it's the fun part of life.
I love it. It's so much fun talking to you. I cannot wait to hear you perform. I'm so grateful that you brought your harp. Stay with us. We've got more strings with a different sound. Harpist Lyrika Holmes is here to share her amazing journey to the international stage. That's coming up after the break. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.